in the fourth quarter. Lamar Jackson was horrible in the first three quarters. Ravens fans were calling for Joe Flacco, but Lamar let it come back with 2 touchdown passes to Michael Crabtree in the fourth to pull the Ravens within 6. Baltimore got the ball one more time in the final minute, but Lamar was sacked and fumbled. The Chargers held on for the 23-17 win, and now they head to Foxborough. After the game, John Harbaugh talked about sticking with Lamar over Joe Flacco. Let's take a listen.
I can assure you we were considering, putting Joe in the game and all that kind of stuff. That was part of the conversation. Certainly thought about it, certainly talked about it with everybody. And I can tell you this, it was everybody was on the same page with what we did. Everybody, including Joe. I mean, Lamar's our quarterback going forward. There's no question about that. Joe Flacco is going to play really well in this league. Joe can still play. I think we saw that the first half of the season. Joe's going to have a market. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want Joe because they understand that. And I'll be in Joe's corner wherever he's at, unless we play him.
No, you can't even go there, man. I thought Lamar did a great job of just hanging in there and and giving us a chance at the end. I just told him, listen, finish strong. At some point, you're going to be proud of how you finish, no matter what happens. This is all part of it, is dealing with this situation right now.
All right, Shannon, should Harbaugh have made the change?
No. And listening at him talk immediately after the game lets me know Joe Flacco was never in the discussion.
He said that, but I'm with you. I don't think he...
John Harbaugh said, Joe is going to play well in this league. Joe will have a market. Joe will play a lot of good football for someone, and I wish him well, except when he plays us. That does not sound like a head coach that ever considered putting Joe Flacco in this game. He said Lamar Jackson is his quarterback moving forward. He knew he would do more harm by removing Lamar Jackson than he would by leaving him in. So, Skip, I get it. Lamar was not playing well. If you think about it, what San Diego did, and I've never seen this before, they played with 7 defensive backs,
never seen
58 or 59 snaps. What that told me, Skip, is that they wanted to get guys on the field that can match Lamar Jackson's speed. So we're removing these linebackers, and we're going to put safeties, guys that can tackle, but they got speed to chase sideline to sideline. Now, what that means, Skip, and you have to give the defensive line of the Chargers a good job, because they did a good job of keeping those guards and centers off those little smallest players. Skip, I think what I've learned in having played this game, Skip, is that the farther removed the player gets, the better he looks to his fans. Because do they remember Joe Flacco once had a playoff game, Skip? He was 4 of 10 for 34 yards with an interception. They beat New England because they had 40 rush attempts for over 200 yards.
The Ray Rice game.
Yes. But they forget that. They forget that when Joe Flacco got nicked, they were 4 and 5. They forget that Ozzie Newsome traded back into the first round to get Lamar Jackson. See, Joe Flacco could have made this a moot point. Normally, when quarterbacks are playing really well, they're not drafting quarterbacks in the first round, Skip. Now, last I checked. Now, you start to play bad, they're going to get your position. They're going to fill that position ASAP. Now, they really would have preferred, I believe, to have Lamar Jackson sit this entire season. But Joe Flacco started stinking it up. He got nicked. They put Lamar in. And once they put Lamar in and they won, they were never going back to Joe Flacco. And they were never going back to Joe Flacco in this game, nor should they. Now, I get, Skip, with 9 minutes left in the ball game in the fourth quarter, at that point, Lamar Jackson was 3 of 10, 25 yards, an interception, and 5 sacks. Can you imagine? Lamar Jackson, as elusive as he is, had 5 sacks. What do you think that statue Joe Flacco would have done against Ingram, against Bosa, against that relentless pressure that they were putting? So I agree 100% that he should have left Lamar Jackson in and the benefit long term. So now I picked the Chargers, and I'm not saying this just because I picked them and they won. I just felt that where Lamar Jackson was this early in his career, throwing the football was not where it needed to be. And they would force him to throw the football because they're going to take that run away. Second time around, Skip, you see they had a game plan. The first time they tried to play him conventional. Second time around, I get a second crack at you. Okay, I see what you
should credit your friend Anthony Lynn for that and Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley.
Because that was
smart.
Brilliant.
Yes. Skip, we don't have linebackers that can run with this kid from sideline to sideline. We don't have anybody that can chase him down. So let's play.
Derwin James can.
So we're going to bring 2 more safeties on the field, and we're going to play like this. Okay, if you can throw the ball, so be it. but we don't believe you can. We believe you want to run the football. So I agree with John Harbaugh. I agree they should have stayed with Lamar, and this will be long better because now he's like, you can't have a situation that every time he plays bad, you want to go to the backup. John Harbaugh was right, and I'm glad he stuck with it.
So I'm going to begin what I'm going to say by telling you or reminding you that before the year started, I said I would go with Lamar Jackson as the starting quarterback, and I know he's going to be a raw rookie. He's just better than Joe Flacco, as I call him, because Joe Flacco in regular seasons had missed 6 of the last 7 playoffs since he got all of his money from winning that one Super Bowl.
Right.
And yet I cannot take away what happens in the playoffs to Joe Flacco, because despite the one bad game that he had, he's 10-5 in the playoffs, 25 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. That's like Hall of Fame numbers, right?
Yes.
Not that he's ever going to even sniff the Hall of Fame,
Right.
but I don't know. Would he ever get on a ballot? I don't know. Maybe.
No, because here's the thing, Skip. Now, if he had put up those numbers in the regular season, he might be a serious Hall of Fame contender.
Yeah.
But I am also here to admit, because you can just read my tweets, when it got so bad for Lamar Jackson, it got so bad early in the fourth quarter, to your point, there's 9 minutes left in the game, so he has played 3 1/3 quarters, okay? And I'm going to reiterate your stats. 3 of 10 for 25 yards with 5 sacks and an interception and no touchdowns. So that's... I don't know if in NFL history you could find much worse numbers than that for that long of playing in one football game.
Well, Joe Flacco had those numbers for a whole entire game. He was 4-10 for 34 in an interception.
34, so he's a little better.
He was 9 yards better.
All right. But again, they were losing the football game at that point, 23-10. So I tweeted at that point, I would have given Flacco a chance just to put Lamar out of his rookie misery, because you know and I know sometimes a kid just gets off wrong in a football game, especially at that position, and it goes from bad to worse, and it looked like it was going to worse for me.
Right.
So I wanted him protected, get him out of harm's way, because it looked like it was going to only get worse and worse at that point. And because Flacco does have 25 touchdown passes in the postseason, I said, why not just give him a chance? This is desperation. You're down 20 points. Let's see if he could throw you back into the football game. I agree with you. It's more likely he would have been sacked 3 more times, 4 more times. But I was wrong about my tweet, because to Lamar Jackson's credit, to the credit of his deep football character that he has displayed all year, he really bounced back, because from that point on, again, you can say they kind of backed off their defensive.
They did, yeah.
But he goes 11 of 19 for 169 yards the rest of the last 9 minutes of the game with 2 touchdown passes. Well, that's sensational.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're back sort of in the football game, where with 45 seconds left, you get the football back. 45 seconds left, you're 1st and 10, you're 34, and he completes another ball to University of Oklahoma's Mark Andrews, another rookie, and that's for 13 yards, and now you got 1st and 10 at the 47, you spike it, and then, unfortunately, Melvin Ingram happened one more time, and he gets strip sacked, and that's the end of the game.
Right.
But he was in position at 23-17 down to actually pull off a miracle comeback.
Yep.
So here's what I thought from John Harbaugh's body language during the game and from what he said afterwards. I believe Ozzie Newsome, or maybe all the way up to Steve Bisciotti, I think they read the riot act last week and said, we do not want Lamar pulled for any reason.
Oh, no.
Because remember, John Harbaugh at heart is a Flacco guy.
Yeah,
he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they came in together. Skip.
Okay. So, in his heart, it's tugging on him. Give Joe a shot. Give Joe a shot. I believe he had been ordered. You can't, unless Lamar gets hurt.
Right. Barring injury, that was the only way.
Performance, you cannot make the switch. Because if you make the switch, you reopen the can of worms. To your point, they have cut bait with Joe Flacco, which is why John Harbaugh was very comfortable saying after the game, there's going to be a market.
Think about that, Skip. After the game, normally your coaches are more diplomatic.
Yeah.
We love to have Joe, but no good way to back him back. Joe ain't coming back here. We love to have Joe back. Joe has won a lot of games for us. So, coaches give you coach speak.
Yeah.
And so it's, man, I don't know. You hear him talk. I don't know, man.
That wasn't
John
coach
Harbaugh.
speak. That was, we have moved on.
I was trying to help him, too.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh is on the other end of Twitter with a burner account. He got a burner account. Say, Joe got a lot of good football, just not here.
Wow.
Because guess what, Skip? there's an injury clause in Joe Flacco's contract. He get injured, they probably go be on the hook for about 20 plus million.
That's another.
And Baltimore said, we're moving on.
So when it got really dire and desperate, 9 minutes left in the game, a lot of fans in the first few rows were booing young Lamar.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Smith, the cornerback, went over and was chastising them, scolding them, saying, hey, he's the reason we got this far.
Thank you.
He should have won 7 games because he had Kansas City
had him on the road.
24-17, but he did win 6 out of 7 to get them this far. So God bless him. I'm glad he bounced back. That'll bode well for him going into next year.
And they've been in playoff mode, Skip. Because think about it. They had to basically win all their games because Pittsburgh had built what we thought was an insurmountable lead. Everybody, Pittsburgh winning this division. Pittsburgh trying to get, because at one point they're 7-2-1. They're in the running for getting one of those first two buys.
I thought so.
So now all of a sudden, this kid gets in there, and Marty Morningweek's credit, John Harbaugh, they put him in a system where he can benefit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's college-esque. Yes, it's high school and playground. But Skip, we're trying to win games. So instead of trying to bang, let him run Joe Flacco's offense. Let's let him run what he's comfortable, and we're gonna build upon that. Now, guess what? They get Lamar Jackson's undivided attention. Now, you see Lamar? You're gonna have to get better at throwing the football. Running is fine. We don't want to inhibit you from running the football. But if you can't throw in this league, you can't survive.
It's like we know what he can do.
Yeah. So build upon that.
I would agree. But he showed me he can run it and stay pretty healthy.
Yes.
I like his survival instinct.
But early in the game, Skip, I thought he took a shot that was unnecessary. He was running on the left sideline. He was running. He could have just got on out of bounds. He had already picked up.
I know exactly the play you're talking about. But the DBs are still a little queasy about really striking him, like really.
Going to Don't get up out of bounds now.
And he's young, guys. It's his 22nd birthday today, actually.
Youngest quarterback ever to start in the Super Bowl era.
You're right. So, 22 years old. This is just the beginning.
Because think about it, Skip. There are very few quarterbacks that make the playoffs their rookie year, let alone play well in their first playoff game.
That's a good point. And he got them to that point.
So now the Chargers get to go up to Foxborough and lose.
And then we've got
congratulations.
a different perspective.
Yeah, congratulations.
The 2 oldest
way to go.
quarterbacks combined age. But we'll talk about them later, because next up we're going to talk about Dak. And Shannon has been giving him these horrible